Okay, so first your girl was grabbing her e.l.f. concealer to prime her eyelids. Then I started blending it out with my fingers because, we didn't have a brush for that. And then we grabbed our Kylie Bible Deluxe Edition palette and we grabbed the lightest shade down in the corner right there and put that all over our lid so that we could set the concealer that we had put on previously, kind of sort of as a base. Basically putting that all over both eyes so that it can set very well, so that when we put on our pinks and our bright colors that it'll just set all together and make them pretty bright and just pop. Taking our Take Me to Brazil palette and we're going to grab the lightest pink shade there in the far left, I believe. We're going to just put that all over the crease. We're grabbing another e.l.f. brush and we're just going to make sure that that light pink that we put on the crease the first time is very well blended so that we can layer on top a few other darker pinks and to add more dimension and just to make sure everything is nice and seamless. So now we're going to take this pink down here all the way in the corner and we're going to put that right on top of the light pink, maybe going or aiming for a little bit lower than the light pink, but just put that right back in there in the crease, adding a little bit dimension to make it more dark and just to add some depth up there in the crease, and trying to just layer it all on top so that the pinks mix well all together. Just going right back in there to make sure that the darker pink is well blended right on top of the light pink so that everything is all nice and seamless and there are no harsh lines and not it being blotchy at all. Okay, so now we're going to go with sort of this kind of a little bit of a shimmery pink and put that right on top of the other two pinks that we had layered on before. And this is just going to add a little bit more dimension, kind of like the darker one, and a little bit more sparkle so everything is not as matte and, just add a little bit of pizzazz to the matte colors. And then we're going to take another fluffy brush with that and we're just going to blend it all out and make everything look seamless. So now we're going to grab this more darker pink kind of with a purple hue to it and add that kind of in the outer corner and in the outer bit of the crease to add more dimension and more depth, kind of make this look a little bit smoky but not too smoky and a little bit more sultry because this is a Valentine's Day look. So we're just going to add that on both eyes and make sure that it's all blended in with the previous pinks that we had added before. Now we're going to take a little bit of that same pink that we put on the outer corner and put it a little bit in the inner corner, kind of making it an halo eye effect because that's what we're going for today. Just darken it up in the front and darken it up a little on the ends. And we're going to add a shimmer to the middle in just a minute. Now taking this reflected pink out of the Kylie Bible Edition palette, I had spritzed my brush with some setting spray. We're going to take a little shader brush. We're just going to place that right in the middle of the eyelid in that little blank section where we didn't add much pinks. But this is a very beautiful pink. It has kind of like a green and gold reflect to it. It's one of the most beautiful colors in this palette. We're just going to place it right there in the middle to give it that beautiful halo eye effect. Now we're going to take a fluffy brush and kind of just blend the ends of that and make that seamless to blend in right in with all the other pinks. So now I'm just going to be blending in my foundation to finish off the look all together. We're going to blend all of that in and then we'll continue the face. So now we're taking the Maybelline concealer and I believe it is the lightest shade that they have, and we're just going to put that all over my under eye and we're just going to blend that all out again. Now we're going to grab some of this setting powder and I'm going to just lightly set my face because this setting powder is not my favorite, but need to set the under eye, and we did more of kind of like a dewy foundation because I used my e.l.f. So we're just going to set the face a little bit and make sure that everything is all together and set in place. So now we're going to grab this little contour palette that I got from Miss A, and we're going to take the 2 contour shades on the end right there because they are the warmest ones. I prefer warm tones instead of cool tones on myself. We're just going to suck in our cheeks and carve out our cheekbones just a little bit, nothing too harsh, because this look is a little bit sultry but a little bit more on the natural side because we have such poppin' eyes. Now we're going to grab our blush neutrals palette. We're going to grab the second blush shade right there on the end. We're just going to put a little bit that on the apples of my cheeks, nothing too harsh. Now grabbing our L'Oreal setting spray, while I look like a dying dog, I'm going to spray my whole face and just wave that around and let that dry up just a little bit, just to add some more moisture up into my skin after all that we set. Grabbing my beauty blender and kind of just pressing that in to make sure that everything looks a lot more moisturized than it actually is. Just give it a little bit more of a dewy look instead of all of the matte, and it doesn't look as cakey. Grabbing some more setting spray and my highlighting brush from Miss A, we're going to grab the Carly Bible palette and we're going to grab that pink highlighter shade, and we're just going to put that all on my cheekbones, and we're going to put that on both sides. We're going to blend it out nice and evenly so that it's not too harsh, but we have a blinding glow. Grabbing some duo lash glue, we're just going to put that on a pair of Ardell Wispies, and I already have one of them on, so we're just going to try and blow that and let it dry just a little bit and place that on my other lash line and just make sure that it's all in place and everything looks symmetrical. Grabbing some Benefit Roller Lash, we're just going to try and mesh my falsies and my real lashes together so that everything is settled in place and looks even and that they stay on as long as possible. Now that that's all done, we're going to grab our little Fenty Beauty mirror and our clear e.l.f. lip gloss, which is only $2, you guys, my favorite lip gloss. And we're just going to put that all over our lips because I didn't want to put on a liquid lip, anything too crazy, because the eyes are already really nice and like really big and poppin'. So I figured a clear lip would be really nice and kind of just set everything all in place because I love lip gloss. And I think that's it.
Good, sometimes I don't. I finesse down Western Road.